Welcome to this path, learning and growing together. Here we have conversations around specific issues of interest and priorities that help us grow together, learn together, but most importantly, challenge the status quo on certain issues that we feel need to be addressed in our lives and in our livelihoods. So today, I'll raise the question on what are individual aspirations, hopes, and dreams that people have in different walks of life. And one of the questions that came back was people have interest in pursuing further education, that is specifically around going back to school for their master's programs. And the question was, how do I prepare? How do I get scholarships? And how do I actually actualize this aspiration and this dream for me? Looking at that, then I felt it important to have a conversation with you to guide each other and see what are the possibilities, where have we come from, and how do we make the journey ahead. First things first, preparation about going for your master's. And for me, I look at master's program. This is the second degree that you're taking yourself into, whether paid for by your parents through a scholarship. It is an intentional decision with clarity on what particular person do you want in your life and where do you want that to happen. In terms of preference, I would prefer having a physical education where you go into a program and actually be present within the campus. The essence of that being, in whatever line of work or line of practice that you want to pursue, it is important that you interact with people, you learn with people, you build relationships and you network. That only happens and actually preferably happens in a physical ecosystem where you're meeting people one by one and actually engaging and having conversations beyond just the lectures. Because when I look at it in the comparison with short courses where we prefer maybe having online classes, the online aspect is that we are meeting in class, we are learning, we might have group work, case studies that we are dealing with, but we never have the additional time to build close bonds and close relationships beyond classwork, beyond academic work. So that is a critical piece that I would consider when I'm looking at going back for my master's program. So physical programs, preferably full-time, depending on what you prefer to have as a person. But beyond that, then the question you need to be asking yourself, and that is the reason as to why I started with, you're going back to school with clarity on what journey you want your career to take, what particular program and what particular skills you need and even knowledge set that you need to be able to venture into that line of practice, which means you have clarity. Having clarity is one of the starting points of being prepared, because if I know I want to go do an MBA, if I want to go do a public policy program, master's in public policy, whatever it is, I have clarity on what it entails. And therefore in preparation, and this is now in line with you looking at getting into the school and making the best of your journey, but also looking at options around getting scholarship opportunities that might exist. Your interests, they might not be really within the kind of emerging and trending topics of good conversation. It would be good if they are, but if they are not, it's still an open conversation that you need to explore. What are your interests? How does your interest align with the ongoing current dynamics and current priorities that would make you a unique outlier and a unique student and applying for that particular program? So that is a critical piece that you need to ask yourself. Once you've made a decision on the course that you're going to pursue, if you're looking at scholarship opportunities, ultimately nobody just gives you money for the sake of giving you money. You have to prove that you really deserve it, and beyond deserving, it's also because you're worth investing in that particular case. What is the need to invest in you, and what is the expected outcome in terms of value of investing in you? There's a key conversation that I've had with some of my friends is about as Africans and actually Kenyans in certain cases, mostly Africans I would say it's as such. We normally make our case be around need and lack of opportunities and challenges. Definitely we do lack opportunities, we do lack resources, and therefore that would serve as a barrier to us actualizing and realizing our potential. But the question is, even if you lack as much as you do, what makes you be the ideal person who can realize that potential? What does your potential really look like? So in preparation, you need to also start building your journey and saying, if I'm going to talk about, for example, working on public policy around climate change mitigation, especially around waste management in the healthcare space in Kenya, for example, the quick question is, have I done something about it? What cases of conversations have I been having? Have I done a paper on it? Have I initiated some action? So the proactiveness makes you be an outlier, and the essence that you're able to document the impact of the work that you've done over the last couple of months, weeks, or years would give you a better advantage. That is the first phase. Have valid examples and experience that could show that you really deserve that investment, and that investing in you has some substantial return on investment, whether in terms of impact, in terms of economic value, whatever it it is you to make that decision on how you're going to build your case. So preparation, you made a decision on the course, ask yourself what are you doing in line with that particular topic or course that you're going to do that will make you be a unique applicant for that particular program. The next piece around preparation is that you need to also get, most of these, and these will be more on thesis driven programs where you need to do research, whatever it is, you need to already have a topic. Because the reason as why I say this is that most of these courses, when you're applying for them, they will ask you, research-based ones, will ask you to propose a topic that you intend to research on and give a brief concept and proposal for it. If you did not prepare and you had no clarity on whatever you're going to pursue, then chances are you will not have a topic. Not having a topic means your case, even at the time that you're now applying and you're doing a case, you will not give it the substantive, concrete argument. And your argument in a case proposal that what you're looking at doing should be solid, it should be founded on examples, and actually, I would say it should have a narrative. Scientifically sound, practically implementable, but also has an impact, because nobody wants to invest in something that doesn't have an impact. And no program would want to admit you if you're just going to do it for the sake of doing a program and getting a paper to add to your portfolio. It doesn't add value. So look at what those could look like. So you have the end topic area of interest. You also have a subject that you can go do research on. That sets you apart because you've prepared for your master's program that you're going to pursue and that journey. Now when you've known the topics that you want to pursue, the next bit around preparation is which universities offer that program that you want to pursue. And when you look at universities, there are so many of them. There are so many of those that are actually in different countries, in different regions, and also there are levels in terms of how far have they gone in offering such programs and what is the impact of alumni from that university or that college, whatever it is that you are going to. So use LinkedIn as a resource pool where you can be able to actually do an analysis and a screening to see which universities have they worked from, which organization do they work in, and what is the impact of research that is coming from that university. It is important for you to understand that, because if you do not understand the rigor that goes into the program, the quality and the stature of a university, you might get a paper, yes, but then that paper will have no value to you. You might have a paper, but also in the university that you're going to, you don't have the best of the best coming from the world. Therefore, even the networking will not give you the value that you're hoping for, because you need to network with people who are going to deliver impact in the global stage and the global scale as it should be. So you need that kind of a university. So do a review of the universities that you have. The UK universities, actually mostly European universities I would say, or American universities. These are universities that have evidence, and actually most of their website you'll see there's a population of how many people have come into that university, what recognizable work are they doing, the impact tracking for the alumni of those universities. So you need to be able to track that, to be able to take it out as you're making a decision on which university or college to go to in terms of their stature, the rigor, and also the quality of academic program that they offer in that particular status, which is amazing for you. The next bit is around now the scholarship applications. Scholarships are challenging, but scholarships are necessary, especially if you're not able to afford your education. I'm one of the people who believe there are certain gaps that I have in terms of financing, and therefore a scholarship would go a long way. But how do you get the scholarships? First things first, and this links to the preparation for the program, but also preparation for your scholarship applications. Most universities will have their intakes, especially most in the European markets if you're looking at those. They start in end of August, September, up to October, and even up to January next year. But now when you get to the last phase, because they'll be doing them in phases, tier 1 or phase 1, starting end of August up to around early January, early October. Then after early October, from mid-October up to end of November, early December, we have phase 2. Then phase 3 will be moving end of December to early January, phase 3. The difference within the phases is that phase 1 people will always have a higher chance of getting scholarship because most scholarship opportunities are available within that bucket. So if you are ready to do your application, then it is easier for you, and it is even better for you to apply within the August, September, early October phase, because you're in phase 1 of the applications. You have all the scholarship opportunities available to you. It is about making a choice on which of the all probable ones are you interested in. Which ones among those would be able to cater for your financial needs? Assuming I'm not able to pay only my tuition fee, but I can take care of my upkeep and all that, then I already have options on which scholarships to apply for. If I need this wholesome funding for both my academic plus my stipend and upkeep, including travel costs, then also at the early stage I have all the options available for me. So you need to be able to be clear on when do I want to make the applications. Once you've done that based on your program that you decided on and the probable impact of it, you need to weigh your option and say, of the scholarship opportunities that are available, which ones really do align with my interest? Because if somebody is funding climate related work, you're not going to convince them to sponsor maybe, for example, mining, especially around petroleum mining. That is more of carbon extraction and carbon production. So is that going to be aligned to that, unless you are going to go into mining with the essence of reducing carbon emissions in the mining process? So you need to look at what is the positioning. They're investing in leadership development, and for you are not looking at your ventures and we're working to more leadership, then most likely you are not aligned and you're not a fit for that kind of a scholarship. Or maybe it's a scholarship that is focusing on social impact. In your pursuit, you're more on for-profit social ventures, basically not even social ventures, but for-profit companies, mostly profit-driven. That would not be an opportunity for you to go for. So you need to be able to be clear on what programs are you going for, how am I going for them, and what does that mean for you in terms of the pursuit of the program that you're looking for. So that the first phase is when you need to apply. Another thing is to understand that the different programs will have different requirements. The scholarship might have essays, but also beyond the scholarship wanting essays, some of them will have different academic requirements that are there. These would include English tests. Some of them will have a GMAT score, will be, for example, the MBA program, those who are looking at those. Then it means you need to start doing them early to get your paperwork ready. The risk is that you wait to the last minute when you're doing your application and you realize that the school that you chose needs a GMAT score of a particular percentage, which you don't have by the time you're applying. Means you have a risk of losing phase 1, you now fall into phase 2. You miss phase 2, you are now going to phase 3. Reason being, you did not prepare for those particular opportunities and those particular needs and the intricacies of your scholarship application. So it is important to work around that and to be clear on what that really entails for you. How do you go through the applications? I think it's good to align your application, what the course has, what the particular scholarships have, and what is the potential impact that you're going to make at the end of the day. And make it to be a story where you're setting the context, this space where you are working at the moment, whatever you're doing, whether it's your own initiatives, whether it's in employment, set the context. Then looking at that context, what particular skill set do you need as a professional that you believe that new program that you're applying for will offer you? Because now you're bridging a skill gap or a knowledge gap, and that university master's program is supposed to offer that. Once you gain that skill, how do you expect to apply that skill in your day-to-day life as a professional, as an expert in the domain? Then if you apply it, what is the expected outcome of you applying that knowledge in your domain place of work? And those are the key conversations. So do it like a story, and that story will then have connected, interjoined areas of practice. And therefore, even if I'm looking at your essay, it is not an essay that is words on paper, but it is a story that has a basis, has a storyline, and actually has a conclusion with clear. I can visualize your career journey by the virtue of reading your essays. So you need to be able to work around that. That is the essay for the school, but also the essay for the particular scholarship that you want to do. Another key piece of work that you have to understand that the university that you're going to, why that university? Because you made a choice of which universities. What particular uniqueness do you see in that university that makes it unique to help you acquire the skills and the knowledge that you desire compared to all the others? Because most of the programs are available in so many universities. Why that particular university? And even at the time of choosing the scholarship, why specifically that scholarship that you are going for? Maybe it has a unique feature that you are keen on, and that unique feature will now be an enabler for you. For example, when you look at under Oxford, there is the Weidenfeld-Hoffman scholarships. It's more leadership development programs. So then it means if I have an interest in business or whatever it is in my technical line of work, I also need to apply for a scholarship that can give me the leadership skills, because I need to have the leadership skills to be able to work on the technical operation side of things. That is a blend, and that makes it a unique scholarship for somebody who is keen on that. So you need to be clear on why this scholarship, why this university, and how do I blend all those in my journey. Finally, as you work on that application, One of the key things around preparation, also working about your scholarship application, is getting referees and getting people you can consult with as much as you need to. Oftentimes, you work on your essays, you work on everything, and you make the submission, then that is when you start sharing ideas with people. Talk to people, get to know what are the key specific aspects you might need to work around as you're preparing for your scholarship or for your further education planning. Talk to people, use LinkedIn to engage them. Most universities, what I've come to learn in the last year or so, is that when you reach out to alumni of a particular program that you're interested in on LinkedIn, they are more receptive to respond, especially when you're clear on what you're looking for. So be clear on what you're looking for. They'll be able to share insight, they'll be able to guide you on that journey. Then you work on your application. When you get the offer, when you get the chance, it's also important to get to engage with the people, the admissions programs managers that you get to be in contact with. Because when they first of all, most scholarships what I've seen is they get the offer of admission first. Then after you get the offer of admission, then you are now considered for the scholarship or the funding opportunities that are available. So when you get the program admission, it is an opportunity for you to talk to your programs manager. Schedule a virtual call, 30 minutes, 1 hour, depending on the availability, just on email. After you have that conversation, now you start having a conversation with clarity that I've been admitted into the program, this is my area of interest in terms of studies, and this is how I'm looking at this program going for me. So what insights can you give me? These are the challenges, maybe in terms of funding. Are there any more available scholarship opportunities that I can still consider as I wait for the ones that I applied for in the preliminary initial application phase? That would be a win for you, because then you've already preempted them and they saw the value that you bring to the program. They saw uniqueness that you have that makes you a fit for the program. And therefore, they are rooting for you to get the funding to be able to join the university. So that will be a win for you. And often most of the universities that I've interacted with, I've engaged with, they're always rooting for you to get certain opportunities. So it is you to make that intentional move to reach out, to engage with them, and see what that would look like for you in getting the scholarships that you want. Do you want to limit your application to one university? I would recommend against it. The reason being, you always want to have options. And the chance is, oftentimes you want one win, but one win through one particular kind of pursuit might not work out. You need options. So apply to three to four universities with the same program, the scholarship opportunities that are available. Ultimately, when you get your offers of admission and you go to the next phase of the funding opportunities, you are clear on what each of the different universities can offer. Therefore, you're making an informed decision with the options already available to you. Making a risk of applying for one program only puts you at an disadvantage in the sense that you might get the admission, yes, but you don't get the funding. And if you're not able to fund the program by yourself, then you will not be able to pursue that program. Those are risks, and you have to be clear about what it entails and what the possibilities are. The last thing, as you're preparing to go for your masters, as you are doing your scholarship applications, read. Market insights are actually the engine that drives professional development. You're not going to apply for a program when you're not clear on what the developments in the local ecosystem or in the global landscape really are. And therefore you need to be clear on which sources of information am I relying on, what insights are critical in this program, and who are the people who are driving trends and driving dynamics and developments within that domain of work. If you have that mastery and that knowledge, then you have an advantage, because even in your essays, you'll be showing substance and understanding of what you're going for, and therefore you stand a better chance. And with that, I hope this helps you in your pursuits of your career journey. And as you go for your masters, as you work on your preparation to choose a college, a course, and even to apply for the scholarships, I wish you all the best, and I hope you realize your aspirations. Thank you so much, and have a good one.